I do not have any answers, nor do I propose to address much. The criminal psychopathy endemic in the city of Pittsburgh. I can't help you. There's nothing I can say. We've already established those features of the situation. What I propose to do is put down on record, if possible, for the police department. You know what they are? They're law enforcement. The fact that a girl in Pittsburgh from Bryn Mawr, an Israeli girl, sent me letters that clearly indicated her involvement in homicide. Pittsburgh arrested me for trying to report that fact, and I left Pittsburgh. When I arrived in Seattle, I discovered a 20-foot tall mural of her in Seattle Center playing the violin. What's going on here? This is a bizarre union politics, and the U.S. government refuses to address it. Pramila Jayapal's concept of addressing it for Donald Trump and Barack Obama was to say that 3-year-old immigrant children are expected to understand the letter of immigration law in Seattle's courts, as though that's my doing. And the reason she does this is because Obama wants to hold a blurry mirror to what he and Genocide Joe did and refocus the ideas that were behind the maelstrom of the AIDS attack, which is what the letters truly show, that Pittsburgh and Seattle conspired in this Green Party Warfare Act with apparently the full knowledge of the United Nations and Africa. Two Virgins pussy ball of a race variety was engineered by Midori Goto, Yoko Ono, and the Jeffen Corporation. By refracting it on me, crooked glasses guy, could have understood the letters. Well, they don't understand the letters. They pretend they don't say what they clearly do say, which is that the person who they tortured was to blame for something they claim happened, and they produce all this soundtrack from their theater of operations and call it evidence. Fictional soundtrack that they made up all sorts of stuff while ripping off the museum and writing Donald Trump speeches and getting on the radio calling themselves Abdul the terrorist. This is Pittsburgh, defended by Seattle, Washington, the Black Panthers, the Green Party, Tacoma Community College, the governor. You can't get away from the defense allegations being made by these soundtrack people. What's going on is that the letters are a script in a movie that show clearly John Lennon was behind it. They pulled a Houdini. They're playing a game of dialectical materialism. Yank at the queer ball by his choke collar and say anything he produces is ours because we're the pimps who trafficked him. A deaf person. And Yoko Ono says his work is more valuable than he is. They have a postcard that Robert Fripp wrote to me. They say it's more valuable than my life to these executive money bags. They say I exploited them. I had nothing to do with it. It's a Gestapo group, Gestapo libel. Everybody knows I had nothing to do with it. It's never even been bandied to the effect that I had nothing to do with it. They say that the accusation takes the form of dye in a trophy from 1904. There was dye in a trophy from 1904. So that means that if I weigh the same as a duck, I'm made out of wood. I mean, 3-year-olds should be able to read. Well, over Yoko Ono's dead body, on the day that 3-year-olds are able to read immigration law, will Queerball be exonerated from being attacked blindside by fully grown armed men? Then the British call it a duel. A duel. A duel is when two people who agree to a showdown and are equally armed and take paces and can hear the person say pull or whatever. Their idea of a duel is attacking a 98-pound deaf child blindside. That's what the British call a duel. I'm not joking. This is the reality of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania's consciousness. Remember Genocide Joe? He was either the puppeteer or the lead man behind Barack Obama. He was number two. Genocide Joe and Obama were like this. They sat in the White House together. They're attacking a deaf Pittsburgh public school child blindside with armed, fully grown armed men and calling it a duel. This isn't even getting to Donald Trump. Donald Trump was working with John Schulman's circle of Jewish friends, who Seattle banned me from school for talking about for 12 long years, saying I wouldn't succeed, that I was making up stories about rumors about distinguished people. He got busted in an $8 million museum heist, and to this day, Seattle continues to case me and poison me with things in the mouth for talking about it. And it's that simple. They're defending the perpetrators, full knowing that they're defending the perpetrators, while braying that it's the will of the victims, the greed of the victims, the psychopathy of the victims, the Seattle hates you of the victims. And demanding that I show them respect, that I'm being disrespectful of them by getting another college to accept me. I was disrespectful of Seattle because the mayor of Pittsburgh apologized to me. I was disrespectful of Seattle because I kept them fully advised and informed of such things as a murder threat that was realized when a girl was ripped and murdered outside the clubhouse in Seattle. How did Seattle respond to that? By arresting me for getting angry at them. How did Pittsburgh respond to me when I went to them with the evidence that Gail Burston of Vermont was a murderer? They arrested me. Now remember, the girl from Vermont who wrote the letters turned out to be depicted in a 20-foot tall mural. She's a very distinguished looking person. That is Gail Burston in this mural, playing violin in Seattle Center. Pramila Jayapal doesn't have any answer for that. Her answer for that is Obama's usual gobbledygook. She says that 3-year-olds don't understand immigration law. So that's an answer to what Gail Burston is doing in Seattle Center, playing the violin. It's not an answer. It's a advertisement for their involvement in a genocidal war crime, of which they aren't even ashamed. They lie to our faces, know they're lying to our faces, and their answer is to lie to our faces. Laughing, you know we're lying to our faces. It's a game of catch me if you can from Paul McCartney. That's what it is. They have soundtrack, they have a script, they pulled a fast one. It's the makers of the movie Sleuth. And I was doing my hard work. I was looking at movies like Sleuth and amassing the clips that are telltale, that explain what they're doing. And these criminally insane people, these psychopaths, murdered Shannon over a penny and demand to take from me anything that I produce or that is valuable in the name of Yoko Ono. It's truly disturbing. In the name of Gail Burston and her partner Yoko Ono. They never arrested Gail Burston. Pramila Jayapal can't read, of a 3-year-old would be better at interpreting the letters. The letters, they say I could have saved John Lennon, which is not true. were based on things that were said by Gail Burstyn. And she, according to them, is completely innocent of what they claim is a murder of John Lennon. This is Pramila Jayapal's intelligence level. It's phenomenology of the void. Have you heard of Pretty Vacant? I don't know about Pretty, but Pramila Jayapal is vacant. Vacant in office, vacant in foreign affairs, vacant in civil duties. Vacant is what she is. A 3-year-old is less vacant.